Hello everyone, my name is Courtney. I'm prospective student recruiter for Faculty of Science, and today we're going to go through the Science Registration 101 workshop. The University of Alberta acknowledges that we are located on Treaty 6 territory and respects the histories, languages, cultures of all First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and First Peoples of Canada, whose presence continues to enrich our vibrant community. Today's agenda, we are going to go through planning your degree. So that involves understanding the requirements for your specific program and where to find them. We will go over some terminology and tips that you should be familiar with. And then there is a registration demo of my schedule builder on how to add your classes to your schedule. So in a Bachelor of Science major or honors, your degree is designed to be completed in 4 years. It does not need to be completed in 4 years, but this is how it is designed. So the undergraduate degree is 120 units in total, which means 40 courses split up between 4 years. So then each year would be 30 units of coursework, being 10 courses, further then split into fall and winter terms, which is 15 units, which equals 5 courses per term. And again, this is just the structure if you are planning to graduate in 4 years the way it was designed, but you can certainly take longer if you'd like, if you take a lighter course load. You'll notice that spring and summer terms are not on here, and that is because they are optional. So let's say you still want to be on track for graduating in 4 years. You can maybe reduce your course load in one of the fall or winter terms and make up the course in the spring or summer. However, not all courses are offered in the spring and summer, so just keep that in mind. If you're in the Bachelor of Science, Bachelor Education combined program, your degree structure is going to look a little bit different than this because it is 150 units across 5 years. That program is quite highly structured in order to graduate with those 2 degrees in 5 years. How will my Bachelor of Science major degree be laid out? Well, there are 3 variations of the program, and you can choose what's best for you. You can choose to do just a major subject, which then gives you lots and lots of room for option courses if you wish. You can also do a major and a minor, which most students opt for. So that's 2 different areas of study, one that's a little larger, one that's a little smaller, plus still lots of room for options. You can also do a double major, so 2 larger areas of study with a much smaller amount of option courses available to you. There is not necessarily an advantage of doing a double major versus a major and a minor if you're wanting to study 2 subjects, but it is available to you. How will my Bachelor of Science honors degree be laid out? Honors students will have a larger portion of their program associated with those honors subject courses. So if I go back to the major, you see it's about half of your degree, while as honors is more than that. So you are doing a really deep dive into that specific subject area, with still lots of room for option courses if you want to take a couple courses outside of that honors subject. New as of fall 2024, honors students can opt to have an official minor added to their program. However, this significantly reduces the amount of option courses you can take. There are some honors and minor combinations that will not be available just because the nature of an honors degree is that there are more courses in that specific subject. So there's some of them that just won't have room for a minor. That's okay. If there's another subject that you wanted to take as a minor, you can still take them as a few option courses if you want, just not as many to make it an official minor. Understanding your program requirements. These 3 links here go to important pages that I would suggest starring in or favoriting in your web browser. uab.ca/calendar is where you are going to find all of the specific requirements for your program. That is your course requirements plus any GPA requirements you need to meet in order to graduate. apps.ualberta.ca/catalog is where you will find the course catalog of all of the courses that the U of A has to offer. And then uab.ca/sci year 1 is one single page that you can go to that will have all of these resources available to refer back to in the future. And you can pause here and type these links into your web browser so that we can go through them together. So let's jump to the University of Alberta calendar. You are going to refer to the calendar year of 2024-2025 because this is the year in which you were admitted. You will always refer back to the calendar for that specific year. Every year, a new calendar comes out and you can find archived ones here, but your requirements are going to always be specific to 2024-2025. We're going to navigate to undergraduate programs, Faculty of Science, and here is where you will find your requirements. So major and honors students, you will be referring to this link. Bachelor of Science specialization and combined education degree students, you will refer to this link here. There are also links here listed for our older degree structures that are no longer available. So if you accidentally click on these to look at your course requirements, you will say that that program isn't available and you have to look at major and honors link instead. So here is where you will find everything related to your degree. So the first section here, program requirements. All honors and Bachelor of Science major students have common course requirements. This is not applicable to the combined education degree, only for the major and honors programs. So all honors and major students will need to take communication and writing courses, a minimum of 6 units in either English or writing studies or a combination. Every course is worth 3 units, so this would mean you'd be taking a minimum of 2 courses in English or writing studies. Next requirement is an Indigenous Studies course. So these can be chosen from a specific list, and you are taking a minimum of 3 units, 1 course. Open up the list, and this will show you every course that you can take that would then meet the requirement for that Indigenous Studies. The next requirement is breadth from outside of Faculty of Sciences. So in order to maintain a well-rounded degree, students need to complete a minimum of 6 units, so 2 courses, from at least 2 of these categories. So you're choosing 2 categories from Applied Sciences, Business, Humanities, Fine Arts and Performing Arts, and Social Sciences. You can click on the link here. Here you will see a breakdown of all of the different course subjects that are available to you in those different categories. You'll see that the lists are quite long here. And if we go back, there's then breadth from within the Faculty of Science. So you need 9 units, so that's 3 courses, with at least 1 of them from each of these categories. 1 course from Basic Sciences, Formal Sciences, and Specialized Sciences, 1 from each. Click on the link and it will open up here. So under Basic Sciences, you're choosing from these 2 specific biology courses or any chem or physics course to meet that Basic Sciences requirement. Formal Sciences, you can choose 1 course from computing science, mathematical physics, math, or statistics. And then Specialized Sciences, you will need at least 1 course from any of these subjects here. Next is lab and field experience. So you need a minimum of 3 units, 1 course that has a lab component to it. So you are choosing from these specific courses here. So you need to have at least 1 of these in your degree. You'll notice that Bio 107 is listed under lab courses. And if we go back to breadth from within Faculty of Science, it's also listed under Basic Sciences. So because these common course requirements can overlap with each other, if you take Bio 107, you are then meeting 2 separate core requirements for your degree. with one course. You do not have to take the course more than once because it is in more than one category, because you can only receive credit for it once, but they can overlap. There's more information here about the major, minor, and honors requirements, specific also to those double counted courses, how many at the 100 level, how many at the higher level. We're going to skip over that for a moment here. More information about academic standing and GPA you need to graduate. Next section here is changes to program. If you are wanting to change the major subject that you are in, after September, you will be able to submit an internal form to the Faculty of Science Student Services, and they can process that request for the following year. So if you're wanting to switch your major, it doesn't happen immediately. It will happen the following year. If you are wanting to change your honors subject, same process. You fill out a form and you will transfer the following year. Very similar as well for declaring or changing your minor subject. You just fill out a form and you get switched into that minor the following year. If you are wanting to transfer between a major and honors program, so switching from a major to an honors or an honors to a major, that will require another application and an application fee. Moving on to subject areas. Here is where you will find the course requirements for all of the different science subjects we have, whether you are taking it as an honors, a major, or a minor. If you scroll down even further, there are more subject areas available from other faculties if you're choosing to do your minor in one of those areas. So let's open up computing science. You want to ensure that you are looking at the correct heading because it's always going to start with honors. So you want to choose the specific program that you are in. So let's say major in computing science. We'll jump down there. Foundation courses. So these are the courses that are typically taken in first year because they are 100 level and they are foundation courses. Foundation meaning that you need them in order to build on top of for higher level courses later on because they are often prerequisites. So you will need to take Computing Science 174, 175, and Math 125. You can also choose 3 units, so 1 course from any of these 3, 1 course from any of these 3, and 1 course from any of these 3. Later on in your degree, in second year and beyond, you have senior courses. So these are courses that typically require a prerequisite that is usually part of these foundational courses. So for example, you can choose 6 units, so 2 courses from these here, 1 course from these, 1 course from these, and then 18 units from any 300 or 400 level computing course, and 6 units from any 400 level computing course. So senior courses, for example, let's open up Computing 201. And if you read the prerequisite down here, it needs Computing Science 175, which is why it is best to take these foundation courses in first year in order to have the correct prerequisites to take these senior level courses later on. Now let's go back and look at subject areas that are from outside of the Faculty of Science, if that is what you are doing your minor in. So let's open up agriculture. And it will show you all of the courses that you need to take. So recommending to start with the foundational courses because they will be required as prerequisites to then go on to the senior level courses. There are some minors that are very, very flexible. So let's say music, for example. all it says is that you need a minimum of 18 units in music. That means that you can choose any course with that subject code of music, as long as you are meeting these other requirements at the ones that are at a higher senior level. So very, very flexible. So where do you find these courses and what fits under each of these categories? That is where the course catalog comes in. On the right-hand side, they're all separate. All the courses offered by the U of A are separated by faculty. So let's go to Faculty of Science, and this then shows you all of the different subjects that we offer. So if you want to take a biology course that is not specifically listed on your common requirements or not specifically listed on your senior requirements, you'd want to refer here. So all of the courses are listed and all of their descriptions and prerequisites are listed there as well. So it's best to work backwards. For example, if you are looking through the course catalog and there is a senior level course, so 200 level or higher, that you are really, really interested in doing, they will often have a specific prerequisite. So for example, let's say you want to do Bio 330, Introduction to Biological Data. If you open it up, you'll see at the bottom here, prerequisite Bio 208 and Stat 151. So in order to take this Bio 303 later on in your degree, you will have to have completed Bio 208 and Stats 151 first. You have lots and lots of room for option courses in your program. So I suggest opening up the Faculty of Science because you will have access to all of those courses. You will have access to all of Faculty of Arts up here, Faculty of Agriculture, Life and Environmental Sciences here as well. The majority of the courses that fall under these other faculties, you likely won't have access to because they will be restricted to students who are in those faculties. So that's why I say it's best to start with Faculty of Science, Arts, and then Agriculture, Life, Environmental Sciences. There are a few others that fall under Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry as well that you will have access to, such as anatomy, biochemistry, cell biology, and so forth. So make sure you're just reading the course descriptions and any prerequisites to see if you can actually enroll in those courses, whether that's in first year or later down the road. The other page I want to show you is that uab.ca/sci year 1. This is a Faculty of Science page where you can find the Science Registration 101 module, which I strongly recommend that you go through on your own time. It does cover a lot of the same information in this presentation, but it is really important that you have a good grasp on where to find your requirements and everything related to course enrollment. There are additional resources over here. Here you will find your specific program requirements, whether you're Bachelor of Science major or honors, or in the combined degree program. These will link directly to the U of A calendar. Plus we have some common frequently asked questions here, as well as some department tips. So let's go back to our presentation. Every course will potentially have 3 different class types associated with it. It could have all 3, it could have just one, and those will be seminar, lecture, or a lab. So when a professor speaks about various topics, is that a seminar, a lecture, or a lab? That is a lecture. The hands-on component of a course, is that then a seminar or a lab? Lab, yes. And then the class based on discussion, project work, or shared assignments would then be a seminar. The majority of courses will not have a seminar component, but I do need to mention it. Not all classes will have a lab component either. To determine which of these components your course has, you will see 3 numbers listed beside the course name or underneath of it, depending on whether you're looking in the course catalog or in My Schedule Builder directly in Bear Tracks. So you'll see number dash number dash number. These correspond to the approved hours per week that will be associated with that specific class type. In this example here, there's 3 hours of lecture time a week, meaning either a 1-hour lecture on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a 1.5-hour lecture on Tuesdays, Thursdays. In this example, there are 0 seminar hours. If there was a seminar, it would likely say S1 for 1 hour per week. In this example, there is 3 hours of lab. So this time is not split up on different days. It is typically one chunk of time of 3 hours. You may also see 3/2. That would mean 3 lab hours every 2 weeks. Some course tips. Create a balanced schedule. 2 to 3 labs per term is recommended. And when I say labs, I'm referring to those larger labs that are a 3-hour chunk of time. I'm not referring to psychology labs. Psychology labs are a little bit different in that you are participating in a graduate studies research project. So you are actually going to be a study participant. You will get more information from your psychology professor closer to the beginning of term as to when you can sign up for these different days and times to be a study participant. So there is no lab component the same way that there would be in biology or chemistry. That's a big chunk of time. So because these labs are different, I'm not referring to them when I say create a balanced schedule of 2 to 3 labs per term. It's 2 to 3 of those larger chunks of time. A prerequisite. I've already mentioned this before. A prerequisite is something that you take before a certain class. For example, Chem 101 is a prerequisite for Chem 102, so you must take Chem 101 first. A co-requisite. Co-requisites are required either before or in the same semester. You will likely come across these with some physics and math classes. Example, Physics 146 has a co-requisite of Math 146, meaning you have to take that specific math class either in the semester or year prior or in the same semester. 100 level calculus. You may see Math 114 or 115 listed in certain places. That is because this is the old course code. The course has now been split up into 3 different variations to help students better grasp the concepts as they relate to either life sciences, physical sciences, or business and economics. All 3 courses are considered equivalent because they do cover the same course material. It's more so the examples and assignments that will be a little bit more tailored to those 3 separate areas. Option courses. What is an option course? How many option courses can I take? Well, an option course is any course that you meet the requirements for. So any course that the U of A offers, as I said in the course catalog, it's best to first refer to Faculty of Science, Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Agricultural Life and Environmental Sciences, as well as a few Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry courses. As long as you meet the requirements for it or any prerequisites, then it will count as an option course. How many option courses do you have? Well, that's difficult to determine prior to taking any courses because, as we discussed in the common course requirements, a lot of things can overlap in different categories. So it's difficult to say how many option courses will be available to you right now, but that number becomes more clear as you start taking courses and will be shown then in your academic advising report, which I'll get to in a couple minutes here. Some other things to mention is that we have massive open online courses or MOOCs. Some of these are available for you to take for credit towards your degree. So those can be found at uab.ca/MOOC. And they would include such courses as Astro 101, Black Holes, Bugs 101, Dino 101, Arctic Climate. There are some computing science and data science related courses there as well. So go to uab.ca/MOOC if you are interested in taking one of these courses for credit. Please do not take any of these courses in the summertime prior to actually starting your degree in September, because these courses are technically offered free online to anyone in the public. It's a slightly different process if you're wanting it for credit, which means you will have to wait to take the course in September or later. Please do not take it in the summer. AP and IB transfer credits. If you score a grade of 4 or higher in AP or 6 or higher in IB, you will automatically be granted transfer credit for that specific course. You can also decline your AP or IB transfer credits if you wish as well. The choice is completely up to you. Later in the summer is when you will get your transfer credit report as to whether you actually have received these transfer credits. So in the meantime, you would be building your course schedule. So what do you do then? If you are quite confident that you are going to get a transfer credit for a specific course, let's say Introductory Bio 107, then you do not have to add that course to your class schedule. You don't need to enroll in it. You can either leave that space in your schedule open to take a lighter course load, or you can fill it with another option course. If you're not sure if you're going to get the transfer credit, it would be best to add the course to your class schedule and enroll, and then later in the summer, once you receive the credit, you can then drop the course and add something else in or leave it open if you wish. This transfer credit process will be very similar for international students who are studying a GCE A-level curriculum and potentially getting transfer credit for those A-level courses. So again, the choice is totally up to you as to whether you want to keep your transfer credits, which will be automatically given to you, or if you want to decline them. So what about those of you who are planning to go on to a professional program? Well, we have professional program tip sheets at uab.ca/reg101, and that would be for all of the different programs that are listed here. So they either require you to complete a full undergraduate degree, 2 years of specific courses, or 1 year of specific courses before you can go on to apply to these programs. Law and medicine are pretty straightforward and require you to complete a full undergraduate degree first. There are no specific courses that you need to take and no specific program because admission is based on other criteria. Dentistry and pharmacy, those programs require you to take 2 years of specific courses before you can go on to apply to those programs. Dental hygiene, dietetics, medical laboratory science, and radiation therapy require only 1 year of specific courses before going on to one of those programs. So unless you're going into law or medicine, you are not finishing a Bachelor of Science degree. You are only doing 1 or 2 years of it before going on to one of those programs. So in regards to the specific courses and whether or not you need a full-time course load, I would strongly suggest going to uab.ca/reg101 to find those tip sheets at the bottom of the page and plan your first year schedule accordingly. So let's go into actually building your class timetable. There are certain things that you need to consider. Do you have the prerequisites for the course that you want to take? Is there a specific course that you want to get into that has very few offerings? I would suggest adding that to your schedule first and building the rest of your schedule around it. For example, if there's an interesting course you want that is only offered at one specific day and time. Is the class offered in the morning, afternoon, or evening? If you're not a morning person, remember that 8 a.m. classes also mean 8 a.m. exams and midterms. You also want to consider transit if you are busing or taking the LRT or even driving to class, and how long that might take you in the mornings, especially if there is poor weather in the wintertime. You also want to make sure that you're registering for courses at the correct campus and in the correct language. So if the course description is in French, it will be in French at our French campus, Campus Saint-Jean. You can certainly take French classes as part of your science degree. We do have a shuttle bus that goes between both campuses. I just wouldn't suggest putting them in your schedule right back to back, because although you do have a 10-minute gap between when one course ends and another course begins, 10 minutes won't be enough time to get from North Campus to Campus Saint-Jean. Which buildings are your classes in? As I mentioned, there's 10 minutes between when one class ends and when another class begins. Although campus is quite large, you will have time to get between your classes. I want to give you an example here. I know this map is really small, but we're going to be focusing on just the stars. I wouldn't suggest scheduling a class in biological sciences, which is way up at the top of the map there, and right after it have a class that's in either ECHA building, ECHA, or the medical sciences building. It will take about a 15-minute walk to get from biological sciences to either ECHA or medical science buildings, so you will not make it to class on time if those are scheduled back to back. If there's a larger gap in between them, no problem. Don't worry too much about which buildings your classes are in, because most of them will be scheduled in the stars clustered up at the top there. So you do have enough time to get between them. The stars that are in, the 4 stars that are in a row there, those buildings are actually connected to each other through hallways and pedways, so you don't even have to go outside for them. Beartracks and My Schedule Builder. uab.ca/beartracks is where you will be able to build your timetable, enroll in classes, drop and swap classes, eventually check your grades, and pay your tuition. There will also be an academic advisement report that is in your Beartracks under Manage Classes. This shows you which courses that you have taken that meet the specific requirements for your program in order to graduate. I wouldn't suggest looking at this report prior to taking any courses because it's not going to be very helpful for you, but after your first semester, this report will start to make a little bit more sense. Were you offered admission to 2 different programs? If this applies to you, you will have to change your program in Beartracks. So for example, if you accepted an offer from a non-Faculty of Science program first, and then were later accepted to Faculty of Science, you will have to just go into Beartracks to change from the old program to the new program before you can register in classes. Understanding My Schedule Builder. There are a couple different steps and features in My Schedule Builder. First, you will have your draft timetable, and your shopping cart is where you will plan all of your courses. You can then validate your courses to ensure that you have the correct prerequisites to enroll in them and that you are not restricted for whatever reason. And then you actually schedule and officially enroll in your classes. If you do not click enroll and the courses are just in your shopping cart, you do not have a seat in those classes. You do have to enroll in them. And here is a short video to walk you through My Schedule Builder.
Hello and welcome. My name is Everett and I'm a student at the University of Alberta. Today, I'll be walking you through the steps to build your schedule using Beartracks and My Schedule Builder. This will be helpful as you begin your journey at the U of A or if you're using My Schedule Builder for the first time. There are 4 steps to enrolling in classes using Beartracks and My Schedule Builder. If your enrollment date has already passed, you may choose to skip step 3. During this video, I will be using Beartracks and My Schedule Builder on a desktop computer. However, the interface should be much the same on a tablet or mobile phone. First, let's learn how to search for classes and add them to your schedule. Starting in Beartracks, we're going to click on the tile on the top row that says My Schedule Builder. Then, select the term you would like to build a schedule for. Your enrollment date should also appear on this screen. You won't see a timetable until you add some classes. To add a class, type the course name, the course code, or the instructor's name into the search bar, and then click on the class to add it to your schedule. Now, selecting the class allows you to view its location, its instructor, and some other details, and to see where it could fit in your schedule. Let's add a few more classes to the schedule. And that's how you add classes to your schedule. Next, we're going to see how My Schedule Builder lets you easily adjust your schedule to make it work for you. Once you've added the classes you want, you can fine-tune your schedule by adding personal time blocks when you would prefer not to have classes. The software will automatically place classes outside of these times as much as possible. To add a personal time block, click and drag on a part of your schedule where you'd prefer not to have classes. If you know you want to register in a specific section of a course, you can pin that course in your schedule by clicking on it. The Schedule Builder will not adjust pinned classes as you customize your schedule. Once you've pinned the sections you want and added personal times, you can use these arrow buttons to cycle through different possible variations of your schedule. Notice how the pinned classes don't change, but if I unpin them, there are more options available and they will move around. If a class you want to take is full, you can request to be notified via text message when a spot becomes available. The watch list in My Schedule Builder works similarly to the previously used watch list function in BearTracks. If a spot opens in this section of the class, you will receive a notification via SMS text, and you will have an opportunity to enroll. First, make sure you have the Full Classes toggle activated so you can see full classes in your schedule results. When a class section is listed as full, you can tick the Notify Me When Seat Opens checkbox to add the class to your seat watch list. Now that we have successfully built our schedule, we want to validate it. This important step will help ensure you are ready to enroll in all of your classes. If your enrollment date has already passed, you may skip this step. When you're happy with your schedule, the next step is to add it to your enrollment cart. Make sure all the classes you want are checked off on the left-hand side of your screen, and then click the green Get This Schedule button. If your enrollment date has not yet passed, there should only be an option to add to cart. However, if your enrollment date has passed, the default option on this page is to enroll. So if you wish to validate your courses, make sure to select Add to Cart. Then, when you're ready, click Do Actions. Click Continue. Now that we've added the courses to our cart, we can validate our enrollment course cart by clicking the button. My Schedule Builder will then confirm you are able to enroll in all of your selected classes, or it will display an error message saying why you can't enroll in a class, such as this one here. Now for the fun part, time to enroll. From the main screen, click Get This Schedule. Then, make sure all the options say either Checkout Enroll or Enroll. Then click Do Actions and click Continue. You will then get a confirmation message that you've been enrolled or an error message explaining why you couldn't be enrolled. And that's all. If you have any additional questions, you can visit uab.ca/reg. If you need to make changes to your schedule after you've enrolled, use the Manage Classes tile in BearTracks. You may also wish to consult faculty-specific resources. I hope you found this video helpful, and good luck registering in your classes.
As mentioned in the video, we do suggest that you use a computer or a large tablet for the course registration process, because although you can access it via mobile phone, it's a little bit easier to manage and see everything on a larger screen. You can filter by campus, so you can make sure that Augustana campus is not checked off there so that you're not accidentally taking classes in Camrose at our Augustana campus. And if you don't plan on taking any French classes, you can also make sure to check off Campus Saint Jean so you're not seeing French courses as well. You can pin priority courses and other classes will move around them. You can block out personal hours as well. If you are not coming up with many class timetable options for you, you may have to remove some of your blocked out personal hours. If you're getting error messages, we suggest that you use Chrome or Microsoft Edge browsers, as Firefox is not as stable. If you have loading errors, clear your browser cache. You can also restart your browser. This seems to be the simplest fix. Just close and open again. As long as you have saved your schedule as a favorite, you'll be able to go back to right where you were. You can also submit a ticket for any platform issues to uab.ca/ask. However, if you are getting an error message that says you are restricted from a class or that a class is full, please do not submit a ticket, as those are not platform issues. Class restriction messages are typically for a specific reason. Please go back and read the course descriptions, because the reason for the error message will be there, such as students in a certain program are able to register in that course first. If a class is full, we are not able to make an exception to open up more seats, as class availability is based on the amount of physical seats in a classroom. Some final reminders. April 4th is when new students to the U of A can start registering in their courses. April 30th is the deadline to apply to residents for a guaranteed spot. June 15th is the deadline for any transfer students to submit outstanding documents such as English language proficiency or high school transcripts and post-secondary transcripts. August 1st is the deadline for high school students to submit their documents. You will receive more information later in the summer about orientation, which typically takes place at the end of August. We do not have dates as of right now. September 4th is the first day of classes, and September 16th is the deadline to add or drop any classes. Thank you so much for tuning into this workshop. I hope this was helpful. Again, you can go to uab.ca/reg101 for those professional program tip sheets. And you can go to uab.ca/sci year 1 to find all of your specific course requirements, the online science module, department tips, as well as some frequently asked questions. Thank you so much, and best of luck.